Hey guys, it's Michael here at Start Fresh Kitchen. Today we're gonna do a really easy focaccia recipe. I know being stuck at home, quarantined, a lot of you are thinking about making bread. This is a recipe we developed here over the last year or so that is super easy and really, really delicious. So I think you're gonna enjoy it. If you appreciate these videos, click the like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what kind of things you would like us to teach you how to cook. You can follow along at home. The recipe is in the link below. It's also on our website, startfreshkitchen.ca. It's literally 6 ingredients, one being water, another one being salt, so it's extremely simple recipe to do. We're gonna start with a little bit of warm water. We wanna make sure that the water is about 100 degrees. 98, 97 is perfect, around the same temperature of your body. Yeast is a living thing, so by giving it that really nice temperature, it allows it to come back to life really easily. So I'm gonna add that to my bowl. I've got some just instant yeast here. I'm gonna add that to it. This yeast is pretty bulletproof, honestly, but I like to put it in the warm water because then you can make sure it's gonna work. As long as you see the little activation happening, it's gonna be a really beautiful dough. So I'll set that aside for a minute. And while it's going, I've got 3 other ingredients. So I like caraway. When I was growing up in New York, there was this bread. It's actually a famous sandwich called beef on weck. And it was a roast beef sandwich on this kimmelwick bread. So salt and caraway crust, horseradish, and roast beef. It was my favorite thing growing up, so a little bit of my New York roots. I'm gonna add some caraway to this focaccia. I've got some grapeseed oil. You might wonder why I'm using grapeseed instead of olive oil. I like to let my bread rest in the fridge overnight. It makes the most incredibly fluffy, light bread. But olive oil solidifies in the fridge, so it doesn't rise as easily. By using grapeseed oil, we get a beautiful soft dough that you can rest in the fridge. It's perfect. And I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and just stir that up. Once I can see that the yeast is activated, and what I mean by that is there will be little bubbles coming to the top of the water. This is looking perfect. So now I'm going to add the salt, the caraway, and the oil. I'm gonna give it a stir, and I'm gonna add half of my flour. The first half of the flour, I'm literally just gonna take a wooden spoon and stir it. So at this point, we're just developing the gluten. All right, now we can take the rest of our flour. You can do this by hand, but we're just gonna use the mixer today to finish kneading. This is gonna take just about 10 minutes. All right, so this dough's looking perfect. So it's a little bit of a sticky dough, and that's a good thing. A wet dough, in my opinion, is a better dough. So it's nice, it's smooth, it's well kneaded. So at this point, I'm just going to take it into my bowl, and I'm gonna wrap this. Put it in the refrigerator overnight, and we'll have a beautiful dough tomorrow. All right, our bread has risen. Look at that. It's incredibly beautiful. It's doubled in size. It's perfect. It's nice and fluffy. So I'm just going to get these into these beautiful little pans here. A little bit of olive oil. Just gonna take the dough, get it in the pan. Then we're gonna work it around. We're gonna deflate it a little bit, that's okay. Just use your fingers, get those good divots in there. Beautiful. Really simple. Take a little extra olive oil, drizzle it on top. Don't be shy with the olive oil. You want to make sure that the olive oil covers all of it. It's going to protect it from drying out during the second rise. So I'm just going to take some cracked pepper, and you can put whatever you want on it. You can add some sliced tomatoes, you can add some cheese. I'm going to keep it simple today. a little bit of dried oregano, salt, pepper. That's about it. I like to use a coarse salt, gives it a nice salty bite. And I'm just going to put this on top of the oven, somewhere warm, and let it prove for a second time, and then we'll fire it into a nice hot oven. So you can see the dough has more than doubled in size again. So I've got the oven up to 410 degrees, and I'm going to fire these in. Now I've put a sheet tray underneath them, and I'm going to splash about a cup of water in there, and that's going to do a few things. First, it's going to help it rise, and two, it's going to make sure that it gets a really beautiful crust. All right, these look beautiful. You want to get them out of the pan and onto a rack as soon as possible. It's going to prevent the bottom from getting soggy, but you can see the nice crumb on the bottom, beautiful color, really, really gorgeous focaccia, and it's so simple. You can do this every day if you want.
A cherry red horse, she runs like a dream. A 1962 Cutlass Supreme hit the #1 hole as we roll along west. Just open up your mind under a cigarette sky.